Hello everyone, so it is time for another creepy, scary video.
I always start my videos out like that, and I don't know why. I'm like, hey guys, so I don't know why I do that.
I wanted to make a little video telling you guys somewhat about the history of the Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, just because I went there this past June, and it was a place I had been wanting to go for the longest time ever, and I finally got the chance to go, and it just has so much history to it and so much dark past that I could not make a video on it. Yeah, this is just going to be like my little story telling you guys about Trans Allegheny. The Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, or the Weston State Hospital, was a psychiatric hospital that was open from 1864 to 1994. But it was taking patients in 1861, long before it was done with construction. So the building was taking patients before it was even completed. The hospital sits upon 666 acres, 666. It was built in 1858 through 1881. It was originally made to only fit 250 people, but it became overcrowded in the 1950s with over 2,400 people. An inability to handle so many patients, it led to an increase in violence in the building. There were several cases of patients killing other patients. One being 2 patients hung another patient using bed sheets. When he didn't die the first time, these 2 patients took him down and then took a metal bed frame and used it to crush through his head. Even the staff wasn't immune to this violence. A lot of former employees admitted to being attacked while they were working. One evening, a nurse even went missing. Her body was found 2 months later at the bottom of an unused staircase in the building. A lot of female workers there were also raped. The hospital held patients that included the following: epileptics, alcoholics, drug addicts, and mental defectives. Some of the patients that couldn't be controlled were locked in cages. It was closed in 1994 due to changes in treatments of the patients. The patients received treatments such as hydrotherapy, electroshock therapy, and lobotomies, most of which we would consider torturous now. Most of these procedures that were held on these patients were done by people who had no surgical training and no anesthesia. If you didn't die while they were performing these procedures on you, you were left like a zombie for the rest of your life. Children were abandoned by their families who didn't no longer want them. And wives and husbands sent their partner into this insane asylum because they claimed that they were lazy. Some were left into a solitary confinement for months to no end. Some were even put there for small things that don't even matter at all, like depression, anxiety. A lot of those mental disorders put you into that insane asylum back then because they weren't as understood then as what they are now. On the first floor, it was called the Civil War Wing, which was the oldest part of the hospital. Along the hallway on this floor, there was a patient named Ruth, who was very violent towards men, and she often threw things at them. There was a very violent female ward in there as well. There was also a room in the building called Lily's room. Lily was the name given to a child born in the asylum by an inmate in 1863. Her mother, Gladys Ravensfield, was an unfortunate casualty to the Civil War. Gladys was accosted in her own home by soldiers that she didn't even know, who forced their rages and their lusts upon her. She found herself in the asylum, pregnant by some unknown soldier. She rocked in wide-eyed silence, having visions of how she was going to murder those men who did that to her. Which, in my opinion, I kind of don't blame her, because, they did that to her and that was wrong. I don't know if I would let her keep the child. Just because you're not really sure what she is capable of doing after being put through something like that. When Lily was born, the staff of the hospital quickly took her, but she only survived a few hours. What's the strangest part about Lily is that everyone reports her being that of a little girl, her spirit being that of a little girl at the age of 3, not a newborn infant. It is said that Lily likes sweets. When they sense her presence or they hear giggling in the building, they would soon discover lots of like candy bars and other sweets would go mysteriously missing. It is also said that if you bring a ball into Lily's room, she likes to play. So she will play with this ball and it will move around on its own. People have reported being pushed up against walls, whistling sounds, doors closing on their own, disembodied screams along with footsteps, bone-chilling laughter, shadow figures, EVPs saying "get out." People hearing their names, black blobs have been reported, someone banging on pipes, squeaky wheels of gurneys being rolled around the tiled floors, and so on and so on. There's so much more like ghosty things that have been reported at the Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. There is a ghost of a man named Dean in this building who apparently haunts a room in this building where his violent murder took place. At the end of the isolation hallway in the building, there is a nurse by the name of Elizabeth, whose ghost can sometimes be encountered there. At the end of another hallway in this building, there are so many hallways, this building is like freaking huge, I'm not even kidding. There is a ghost by the name of Big Jim, and they have reported numerous EVPs. And I heard that Big Jim isn't that well liked. Like he's, like I've heard bad things about him. Like I heard that he's a very, like, I don't know what they call it. Like he's kind of like a dark spirit. Like he's not a demon, but he's like a very angry spirit. On the 4th floor is what is considered one of the most creepiest hallways in the building. Also, another weird apparition has been reported there known as the Creeper, which kind of slithers across the floor, which is kind of like if you guys watched Paranormal Lockdown, which came on Destination America with Nick Groff and Katrina from Paranormal State. They captured an apparition kind of similar to that. I don't know if it was in the same area, but I know that they caught something similar to that in Trans Allegheny. After being closed, the location is now a big hotspot for paranormal investigators. The building has been on tons of ghost shows, such as Ghost Hunters, Forgotten Planet, Ghost Adventures, and many more. 3 cemeteries are on the grounds of the Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, with thousands buried in them. Many of these sad souls once had no one to claim them, and even after death, they still remain in the grip of the insane asylum. The hospital was bought by Joe Jordan in 2007, and he opened the building up to tours, haunted houses, and many other money-raising events to go towards the building's restoration. These are just some of the things that have happened at the Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, and there was probably so much more that happened that I didn't get to add into my video. The building has a long, dark history, but this was just all that I could find on the building, so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Please leave me a comment and let me know what you think of the Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. Would you ever visit there? Would you spend a night, overnight there? I totally would, for sure. And yeah, if you guys haven't seen it already, I will go ahead and leave my experience from whenever I went there, and also my vlog from whenever I went there as well in the description, so you can go check that out. But yeah, I did get to visit there. I didn't get to do any tours this time around, only because we didn't have the money to do so. But hopefully later on we can go back and do that, because I would definitely love to do one of their ghost tours, or do like their Halloween thing where you can stay overnight in the building and ghost hunt, because I think that would be awesome. But yeah, I think I forgot to mention, but I was wearing my Trans Allegheny shirt for this. It just says Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum Ghost Hunter. Yeah, and it has the building on the back. It's so awesome and I love it. I actually bought it at the actual hospital, so I thought that it was kind of cool. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in my next video.